Alrighty, I'm mixing titanium white with some linseed oil to thin it down, and so we could go ahead and coat the canvas and give it a nice slick finish so it makes it easier for the paint to actually move around on. Gotta mix it up really good. And then I'll just put it on here. Put it on with a palette knife. A little easier to control, so you can put it exactly where you want. We want to cover the entire canvas. We don't always want to do this, but if you're doing a water scene, it is definitely easier when the canvas is smooth. So we'll cover the whole canvas this time. And after we get it spread out pretty good, we'll get the brush, big 2-inch brush, and blend it out really nice. Cool. Alright, 2-inch brush. 2-inch brush. Let's get this little guy and go in circles. You want to cover the entire canvas, so make sure you blend it out really nice. Now, let's add some color. So, I'm going to start out with phthalo blue. Phthalo blue makes a really nice looking sky. So, just going to put a little bit of this on my palette. I'm going to take a smaller brush to blend it around. And this is actually a number 8 brush. So nothing special as far as the brush is concerned, but it actually helps me control it better as far as how much paint I'm putting on. So I'm just going to put it on in some special places here. And then again, I'll blend it out with that same 2-inch brush I used before. Now up towards the top and towards the corners is really where you want it to be the darkest. But sometimes you could go back in and actually add a little bit more color if it starts wearing out when you start adding or blending it. Alright, so back to the 2-inch brush. So let's get this little guy in again. Go in circles. It seems to blend really well when you do that. It already starts to look like there's clouds in the sky. So it makes for a really simple sky. Simple and easy, but still relatively accurate. Definitely want to blend out the brush strokes. If you're doing a painting where you want to see the brush strokes, that's a different story. But if you want more of that realism, kind of make it nice and smooth. And then just towards the bottom, on the outside, we're going to add some more blue. And in this case, this is where the water is going to be. So we'll take this and we'll pull it in nice and smooth. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of cadmium red. Don't need a whole lot. You don't want this to be jumping out at you. So of course, when it mixes with white, it's going to turn it pink, which is what you want. You don't want it really bright red. So you're not going to need a whole lot of this. Just get it to add some color. And then we're going to put some down in the water as well. So let's go all the way across here. Okay. So let's blend out the sky. May need to add a little bit more for the sky. You can add as much as you like. Okay, let's add a little bit more. And again, small circles with a 2-inch brush to help blend it in. There we go. Now think of a sunset, think of the sky. You don't normally see jagged edges or anything like that, so they're nice and smooth. So you want to smooth that out really nice. There we go. And definitely need to smooth out this water. And again, mixing with the titanium white, it actually will make it less vibrant. So we don't want this to be standing out crazy either. So you get it where you want it. You can always go back and add more if you like. A little harder to take it away. So when we first started using the titanium white, we mixed it with linseed oil to thin it down to coat the canvas. Now we're actually going to use direct titanium white, and we're going to make our clouds. So basically you get a good amount of paint on your brush, and then you just put the clouds wherever you like, and just rotate it in little circles. You can make it go any way you want. And you could use a lot of different brushes too. You don't have to use this. You could use the fan brush, you could use big brushes, whatever works for you. I'll put some more down here. And sometimes when you do this with the blue and all that, it'll actually make it look like there's certain clouds in certain areas already, and then you can just let your imagination go and follow those lines. Or you just put them wherever you want. Okay. So this is my basic cloud. All I'm going to do now is actually take the corner of the 2-inch brush and blend in the bottom. You want to leave the top. We're going to just swoop up, and basically there's a cloud. You can fine tune a little if you wish, but then just go ahead and grab some more titanium white, and now we're going to overlap. So let's make a cloud go right in through here. And where it's blended out right through here, it's actually a little lighter. When you put the white through it, if you're able to see a deviation or a separation, it kind of gives the cloud a little bit more effect, which is kind of cool. Have that taper out. I'll put some more right in through here. And right through here. Alright, so back to the 2-inch brush. We'll just blend it out a little. And then lightly brush over to give it a wispy effect. Nice cloud look. There you go. Now if you want to add more. Again, just dip it down into the direct titanium white. You can actually color that as well. So if you want different tints from pink, blue, orange, whatever you want to do, you can actually tint this and add some different effects with the clouds that way. It doesn't always have to be white. I'm just showing you this because it's an easy way to actually make clouds, and then you could go ahead and take it anywhere you want from there. Okay, so again, blend. Now we're going to do the other side. Same 2 brushes. I'll do some right up through here. And drop it down. Get a little more white up there. Gonna blend it. Now you don't want to blend the whole thing in where it actually makes your cloud disappear. You're mostly doing just the bottom. Now when you lightly brush over it, it's just to eliminate some of the clunky paint and give it a wispy look. So you don't want to blend it too much. Alright, back to the white paint and another cloud. So let's go right up through here. Take this little guy right through there like that. Paint. Okay. And then again, corner of the brush and blend it. Just hitting the bottom part. Brush it. And voila, more clouds. Okay. If you want to add more detail, I want more white up here at the top. Just go back in and add some more white. And of course you could blend it again just a little. Barely touch it. If you touch it too much or push too hard on the brush, what it'll do is actually make it all move and run your clouds right up into the sky and make them kind of disappear too. So there we go. Clouds. let's do one right through the middle. Go right in through here. Get this one right up in the front. More white. Again, blend. Corner of the brush, little circles that help it blend nicely, and then instant clouds. Okay, so now we're going to paint a mountain. Let's grab some of this phthalo blue, and then we're just going to go ahead and start with a peak right through here. Scrape this into the canvas. I'll go ahead, bring this down a little bit, go up. You can make your mountain any way you want. A little more phthalo blue. Another peek right through here. Push it into your canvas. Just taper this down. Grab a little bit more blue with your palette knife. Okay, let's do another peek. Push that into the canvas. Canvas can take a lot of abuse. So don't worry about putting a hole in it or anything. I haven't ever seen that done yet. Alright. Okay. So we didn't use a whole lot of paint. But we don't need a whole lot of paint for this. So just cleaning up some of the edges and taking off some of this extra. Looks like we got ourselves the beginning of a mountain range. So let's now take the 2-inch brush. We're just going to tap this very lightly. That gets rid of some of those sharp edges. So this is far away. So if it had nice sharp edges on it, it's going to make it look closer, which kind of throws it off a little. So let's go ahead and we'll just tap the edges here a little. Make it look farther away. Okay, and then we're just going to brush this out. Now let's add some snow. So using the palette knife, getting a small bead of titanium white, and what we're going to do is just let this glide along the mountain ridge. Give it a snowy looking effect. Grab a little more. Do the same thing up here. So I'll hit this one. Great simple little effect. Now we need to add a little bit more phthalo blue to the white to tint it. That's my dog. Okay. Now we're just gonna do the other side of the mountain to add some shadowing effect. That contrast, the darker and the lighter, helps give your painting depth. It's pretty windy over here today, so I think my dog's enjoying the wind. Actually, I don't think he actually is enjoying the wind. That's why he's barking so much. Alright. So now we have to smooth this out. So basically you take your 2-inch brush and you just barely tap the bottom. Okay. And then if you brush up, it'll blend it all together really nicely and kind of give it a misty effect on the bottom of the mountain. So we'll keep this towards the bluish side. So we want to add some trees now. So we're going to use our cadmium yellow and phthalo blue, and we're going to mix our own green. Some people like using the green out of the tube. I like the deviations and I like to control the color a little bit better. I like to mix my own, so that way I can have darker, lighter, just a lot easier because I know how it's being done. So of course you don't need a whole lot of the phthalo blue in your cadmium yellow to make green. The blue is really potent. So just loading up my fan brush, just a small, this particular one is a number 2 fan brush, and I'm just going to do some mountains in the back here, or some trees, and it's a smaller hill, so what I'm going to do, just tap them in like this, so it looks like they're kind of all lining up. Some more. Of course you want to make them go higher and lower. these are way off in the distance, so you don't want them to be that vibrant. And you don't want them to be too detailed, because you can't see a whole lot of detail in the distance. So again, now let's go ahead and take our 2-inch brush. We're just going to tap this. And again, it gives it more of a misty effect. Blends it together really nicely. Done there. And now let's go ahead and get some more paint and do another row. So again, we're doing the same exact thing. We're loading up the fan brush. We're going to do another row right in front. But the biggest thing is we want to keep this cloudy, misty effect here, because that's going to be the separation in between the two rows. That out. Alright, so we're right in through here. And this row can be a little bit darker than the one on the top because it's closer. So just kind of put them where you want. And again, you want these going straight up and down. Paint. Okay. So again, we'll take the 2-inch brush and we'll tap it in there to help blend it. And again, we want to keep that misty effect. And then we'll brush it up. So this will help blur them out, blur out all of your little trees, and make them look like they're going into the background. Let's go ahead and continue this little hill, just going off into the distance. Too much brush, brush up. So time to clean off the palette knife. Now let's grab some burnt umber. And some lamp black. So we want this section kind of dark. Now black will tint your paint very quickly. So if you don't want it really dark, don't use a whole lot. It's very potent, just like the red and the phthalo blue. So we're just going to go ahead and bring in some dirt. So let's go ahead and start from here. Bring it right out through here. Now we have some land. Bring this out a little further. Wipe off the palette knife. Now we're going to use a little yellow ochre. Mix it with some titanium white. We don't want to mix it up real well. We want it to kind of look marbly. We're going to take off a small amount, and now we're going to go across the land and make it look like dirt. So just like the mountains, you want to lightly touch this. Now we're going to make some more trees. So we want this to be pretty dark. So we're just going to take a tree right up through here. And this is going to be a nice evergreen tree. Some more paint. And then just kind of crisscross back and forth. And again, this is still the fan brush. The fan brush goes a long way. And then down here. Now, of course, this little guy needs another one. So let's go ahead and put another one right up through here. And do the same thing. Again, using a really dark green. So I mixed it with some more black. through here. One right up through here. Okay, so now we want to grab some thinner. Clean the brush. Now back to the palette knife, and now we need to go ahead and put a tree trunk right in the middle of these little guys. So we'll go right up through here. So yellow ochre, titanium white, and a little bit of the burnt umber. So we're just going to go ahead and take this and touch it right on the canvas like that. Put it where you want. If it doesn't come off, sometimes you need to add a little bit of thinner to thin it down. Sometimes you just need more paint. Alright. So back to the fan brush. I'm going to thin it down a little. Go into the green and yellow, add more yellow. And now we're going to add highlights to the trees. So just go up here. Pretty simple. Get this little guy. Now I want to grab my 1-inch brush, dip it into the paint thinner, and using cadmium yellow and a little bit of the phthalo blue, we're going to mix our own green here, and now we got to put some bushes in. So let's put some bushes in here. Sometimes you need the thinner to add to the paint because thick paint doesn't stick too well to thick paint. So if you thin it out, it works much better. Just don't use a whole lot. There we go. You can add some down here too. So this is where the water's going to be. So of course we need something that's going to reflect. So we'll make those into reflections. We need some of that darker blue down here. So we'll right down here. The darker blue mixed with the yellow we just had will make it a nice dark green. So bring that down here. So now I'm taking a 1.5 inch brush and I'm going to take this and just pull it down. It's got to be straight down. And then just take it and go straight across to blend it out. Lightly go across. Let's go back to the 1.5 inch brush, and we're just going to go ahead and put some land over here. Just going to tap it in. And get some white with the palette knife. Go right in through here. Now I want to add some more highlights. So I'm going to still pull this down with a brush. So back to the 1.5 inch brush. Pull this down again. And over easy. So back to the dark paint we already had for the tree. Now we're going to make some more trees. So we'll go right up through here. Big one. So of course back and forth with the fan brush. And I want another tree. Let's go ahead. Take another one and put it right up through here. More of the darker color. Bring it up a little taller. Now let's go for some highlights. I'm going to wash that fan brush out. Use a phthalo blue and a cad yellow and mix a nice green. Before I do that, let's add another trunk, another couple of tree trunks. let's do some highlights. Back to the 1-inch brush, we're going to add some bushes. So let's go right up through here and just tap. Might need a little bit more paint thinner. Again, keep it nice and thin. That will go in nicely. Right here, there. You can add different colors. So if you want to add a little red, it's just dabbing on some cad red to give it some flavor. So just scraping in some little twigs and stuff with the palette knife. Really easy. Cuts right through.